Hey, Karen, if you're there, pick up. I just saw that brochure on the kitchen table. That one about the Hawaii trip. What's with that?
Excuse me?
Don't play dumb, Karen. It was on the kitchen table this morning. Why did you even pick that up? Did you stop by the travel agency just to get that?
So that means you went into our house without permission. I told you to give me advance notice if you're coming over. How many times do I have to keep telling you? Even if you're my mother-in-law, it doesn't give you the right to just walk in.
Oh, please don't start. Besides, I want to know about this brochure for this Hawaii trip. I want an answer right this minute. What is this?
It's nothing. It's just a brochure. I was shopping downtown and happened to pass by a travel agency and picked up one of their brochures out front. Actually, I didn't even realize it was Hawaii until later. The brochure looked nice is all.
Are you planning on going to Hawaii on vacation? Is that it? We have no plans for any kind of vacation. Then why did you go out of your way to get this brochure? And you leave it on the kitchen table for all to see? You knew I would see it. Are you poking fun at me or something?
Pardon me? I just left it on the table when I came home. You're the one who came into the house without permission. Besides, what's it to you if I grab a brochure or not? Just leave me alone, would you please? Don't freak out just because I picked up a brochure.
It's your fault, Karen. You should have thought about that before bringing such a thing home.
Like I said, Mother, please don't come into our house without permission. Then you would have never seen the brochure. Sheesh.
Don't you dare talk back to me. I'm going to confiscate this brochure if you don't mind. From now on, I will not allow you to bring home such brochures or magazines.
Keep the brochure. I don't care what you do with it.
Hey, Karen. Where'd that brochure for Hawaii go? I saw it on the kitchen table this morning. I was going to look through it later.
Oh, hey, Bob. You're pretty early today. Yeah, the brochure. Your mom confiscated it.
Excuse me? She confiscated it?
Yeah, it seems she got into the house without permission again.
What? Are you serious? I thought I took the extra key from her way back.
I bet you anything that she somehow got hold of Dad's extra key.
Yeah, that's probably it. I better warn Dad about that later on.
Yeah, please do.
I can't believe my mom. Man, I'm glad you left all our important papers at your parents' place and not here. I don't even want to imagine what she would do with them. Dad and I were always worrying what Mom would do next, but I never imagined she would come into our house without permission after warning her countless times.
Bet she feels that if it's her son's house, it's hers as well.
Yeah, I could just see her saying exactly that. I was hoping we wouldn't have to go ahead with our plans, but maybe I should talk to Dad and get things moving.
Oh, yeah? Well, if you do, let me know ASAP, because I have to give my company some advance notice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Are you on your way home?
Yeah, should be home like 30 minutes or so.
Alright. I'll cook up some supper. I was a bit late today too, so nothing special. I heat up some pasta, a little wine perhaps.
Sounds good. Can't wait to see you soon.
Hey, Karen, I got the okay from Dad.
Oh, yeah, roger that.
I need a favor from you, Karen.
Okay, what is it?
Remember the issue about the brochure? You know, when Mom was all worked up over that thing? I think it was a month or so ago.
Yeah, how can I forget? She freaked out over that thing. I told her I just picked it up and we had no plans for a vacation, but she went ballistic and confiscated the darn thing. I couldn't understand why she would go so far.
About that Hawaii trip. Would you mind making plane reservations for that vacation?
Pardon me? Are you saying we're really going to Hawaii?
Yeah, that's right. I figured it would be useful to mislead her. You know, as a part of our little scheme.
What do you mean by misled? Oh, wait, I get it. Because it's Hawaii, huh? You got it. You know it's in Hawaii.
We'll get her to go there herself.
Roger that. Make sure to text me when things really start moving. Got it?
You got it!
I knew it! You guys are planning to go on that Hawaii trip. I just knew. You can't fool me. This will not do. I won't be left behind. How could you go on vacation without me? No way that's happening.
Mother, how could you? My plane ticket? I was just about to go into the terminal when you grabbed the ticket out of my hand and boarded the plane. How could you?
Looks like they were already closing the doors. We're about to take off. Hawaii, here I come. I arrived at the terminal right when you were standing up to board the plane. Lucky me, you were the last to board. I can't wait to get to Hawaii. I'll have fun on your behalf. See ya.
But...
Oh, wow. Business class. You really know how to splurge. It's a 6-hour flight, so it's going to be comfortable with these wide seats. And the service is going to be wonderful. Hope they serve beef. Maybe I'll have some red wine with that. LOL.
I was going to change my ticket to economy after talking with Bob. He thought it was a little overpriced. I was on my way to talk to the girl at the counter when you showed up out of nowhere. I was going to switch to the evening flight.
Huh? Wait, what?
Hey, Bob, it's your mom. She snatched my plane ticket from me just as I was going to the counter to get a refund. She then ran right through the boarding gate and onto the plane. I didn't have time to downgrade the ticket and get a refund.
Seriously? Alright then. Just cancel and get a refund for Dad and my tickets then.
Way ahead of you. Did it as soon as I realized what was happening.
Good thinking. She'll get there and realize that she's all alone and we'll end up spending a fortune. Won't have any money left to get back. But then again, that's the plan. It'll give us time to check out our new place up north in Maine. I always wanted to live there.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I arrived at Honolulu, but nobody is here. Figured I would check in at the hotel and maybe relax at the beach tomorrow.
Oh, so you're okay being alone then?
Well, Hawaii is like any other state. Everyone speaks English. No problem.
Yeah, I suppose so.
By the way, you made reservations at the Sheraton at Waikiki, right? Reservations are in your name, right?
How do you know that?
I know that Bob and his father are checking in later today, too. I heard you guys talking about it and saw the reservation after reading your email.
That means you went into our house without permission and scrounged through our stuff again. You even looked through my email.
Well, that's because you guys were sneaking around behind my back. That's why I knew you'd be at the airport this morning. I caught you right at the opportune time, snatched that ticket, and hopped on the plane.
Yeah, I was just going to the counter to talk to the attendant.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do it. I had to teach you a lesson. Anyway, you're just a housewife. You don't deserve a nice trip like this. I suggest you stay home and look after the house.
Look after the house. Huh, yeah, whatever. But I have to say, I was a little doubtful that you would actually snatch the ticket from me, but it worked.
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
Your husband has been married to you for like 20 years, and he was sure it would work, 'cause he can read you like a book. I told him it would never work, but I guess I was wrong.
What the hell are you talking about, Karen?
Have fun in Hawaii.
Karen, what are you talking about?
We're headed up to Maine in a few days. We rented a cottage on the lake. Beautiful spot.
When I got to the hotel and went for dinner, my brother was there sitting at the table. What's going on?
Hey, Mom. You there?
Brad, where have you been? I thought you were coming here with your father, but I find my brother here. You know we don't get along. Did you know about this? I haven't seen my brother in years. He says he lives here, runs some gift shop over on the other side of the island.
Yeah, of course I knew about it. That's why we tricked you into going there.
Excuse me? You tricked me into coming here?
Mom, what is it that you get out of mistreating Karen all the time? Do you enjoy it?
Huh? What do you mean?
You did the same thing to your son Jim about 4 years ago. Remember when Jim planned that honeymoon with his new bride? You swiped her ticket and insisted that you would go with your son. I remember you saying that such a trip was too good for her, that you would go on her behalf. I mean, come on, Mom. Seriously? Wasn't that the reason Jim wanted nothing to do with you? Isn't that why he moved away? Bet you don't even know where he lives now.
But I was only trying to...
Anyway, Dad knew how you would react and set up this little scheme, and it worked like a charm.
Wait, excuse me. This was all a scheme of some kind?
Yeah, it was a hassle, but it worked out. From this day forward, we, Dad included, have cut family ties with you.
But why? Why, Brad?
Because you treat Karen, my wife, with total disdain, as if she were a maid.
But I was trying to teach her to be a good wife is all.
Yeah, by throwing out her cooking, or purposely messing up the room and demanding that she clean it up. There were countless incidents I could point to, but it would take all day, and I don't have time for that. Did you really think that Dad and I didn't notice? Jim left because of how you treated his wife. Didn't you learn your lesson? We were worried that would escalate so far that maybe someone would get hurt. That's how concerned we were. Well, we contacted your brother, Uncle Bruce, and we explained the whole thing to him. He agreed to take you in. So, that's how you ended up there.
No, please, I can't stay here. Not with Bruce. You know I don't get along with him. I never wanted to see him again. I didn't even know where he lived. I hadn't seen him in years.
That's why we asked him to take care of you from now on, and he agreed.
No, that can't be right.
Bruce is a real disciplinarian. He's one tough cookie. Runs his own business, has numerous employees. This will be good for you, Mom. You need a little discipline in your life. A little taste of your own medicine. He's actually quite excited about finally teaching his little sister proper manners.
No, this can't be.
We also took this opportunity to move out. This will probably be the last time we talk. Goodbye, Mother. It was nice knowing you.
Brad, you can't do this. You're my son.
I heard later she was taken to her brother's place on the other side of the island and set up in a small dormitory. The next day, my Uncle Bruce got her started as a store clerk greeting tourists. But as you can imagine, she wasn't actually good at her job. I heard she tried escaping several times, possibly trying to catch a plane back to the mainland, but without any real money, she wasn't able to get very far. Uncle Bruce picked her up, wandering down Waikiki Boulevard. I think she's finally come to the realization that she'll just have to make the best of it. Actually, living in Hawaii doesn't sound that bad.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hello, Sandra. I have to tell you this, but I think you're not suited for my son. I just cannot understand why Chris would choose you as his wife. What was he thinking? Are you still going on about that, Mother? You've been sending me this line message countless times the past week or so. Haven't you had enough? All I'm doing is protecting my son. What mother would look the other way when their son is suffering? I really can't understand why you feel that way, Mother. Chris was tricked into marrying you. You were only after his money. I saw it coming a mile away. That's where you're wrong. I married Chris because I wanted to build a happy family with him. Building a happy family for you means to live in an expensive high-rise condo and spend all his money. That's what happiness is for you. Since getting married, how much have you siphoned of him? How could you say that? Siphoned off? Please, you do realize that I work too and make a reasonable amount myself. We share all household costs for your information. The way I see it, your constant disapproval only disrespects your son. He's my son. Don't act like you know my son more than me. It's not only me. Chris also has grievances about you. 1, your cooking is horrendous and you never clean. What's more, your personality is dull as ditch water. Did he really say that? Of course he did. Do you think I'm making it up? He said he wants a divorce. He really wants a divorce, huh? Yes, so give it to him already. He'll be way happier if you did. Divorce is not that easy, Mother. You can't just say, okay, sure thing, and be done with it. It's more complicated than that. Still being pig-headed about it, huh? You really have the nerve, Sandra. Maybe I better start looking for a suitable wife for Chris to replace you. I don't have time for this, Mother. I need to get back to work. Goodbye. Sandra, are you there? About this coming 4th of July weekend, we're going to see the fireworks with the whole family, and you're not welcome, just so you know. A fireworks show? Yes, all the relatives are going to be there, so I figured it would be a great opportunity for everyone to get together. They have these stands ready at the park, so I made reservations for one of them for the entire family. We'll have front row seats. They even have a drink bar set up. But I'm sorry, there's no seat available for you. Of course, Chris is more than welcome. If you want to see fireworks, I suggest you watch it on TV or buy some sparklers and set them off on the veranda or something. I see. Alright, no problem. As you suggest, I'll stay home that evening and enjoy myself alone. That would be the best. Yes, Mother, and thanks. I really hate crowds. I would much rather stay and relax. Accepting defeat pretty easily, Sandra. What's up? That fireworks display, we get a front row seat from our veranda on the 12th floor. The view is actually spectacular from here. I'll just sip some wine, relax, and take in the show. No crowds to contend with. Thanks, Mother. That's nice.
Hey, Sandra, just finished work. I'm just getting into my car. Should be home in like 30 minutes.
Oh, hey Chris. Pretty late over time?
Yeah, end of the week and all. Hey, did you have a little spat with my mum yesterday?
Excuse me? A little spat?
I just received a call from her. She left a cool message. She's talking about the upcoming fireworks display on July 4th, but she's going on about something or other. Mentioned your name a couple of times, but I couldn't make head nor tail about what she was saying. What I got from it was that she called and starting a senseless attack on you, but that you retaliated. What's up? Did something happen?
Oh, that. I wouldn't actually call it retaliating. She just texted me to say that they leased special reserved seats to watch the big fireworks display over the 4th of July weekend, but she made it point that I was not invited.
First she harasses you, and now treats you like an outcast. When is this ever going to stop?
But you know me, I hate large crowds, so I was actually relieved not to be invited. So I just told her that I was happy I wasn't going, that I was actually thankful. I even thanked her for not inviting me. That was it about. I bet you anything that after a while her anger grew because of my indifference. Guess she figured out I would be more upset.
I'm starting to get the picture. I got to say, Sandra, you've gotten really good at taming the tiger.
Yeah, well, we only converse online or by phone, so it's not face-to-face. I work all day, which allows me to avoid your mother. I don't know how things would have turned out if I was just a stay-at-home housewife. I hate to even imagine such a scenario. And when do we meet? It's always with you, so she holds back on any criticism she has.
I'm really sorry that I have to put you through this, Sandra. I keep warning her to back off, but she just ignores me. On the other hand, when I warn her, the backlash against you worsens. A real catch-22 situation.
Don't worry about me, Chris. I can handle it.
Thanks, but we really need to do something about it sooner than later. About that July 4th meet, I'll attend and say hello to everyone. I won't be too late. I don't want to think about the repercussions if I didn't show up.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, I better get back onto the freeway. Should be there before 8 PM.
Alright, drive carefully. It seems you kept your promise and stayed home. Good evening, Mother. 2 more hours before the fireworks start. Looks like a never evening for fireworks. You kept a super stiff upper lip the other day when you heard you weren't invited, but now that Chris is here enjoying himself and you all alone, I hope you don't feel stunned. I'm sorry to have to cut you off soon, but I'm going to have an online drinking party soon. I better get ready. Pardon me? An online what? Online drinking party. I have to log in now, so we'll talk again. Enjoy the fireworks. Log what? I really can't understand you, Sandra. Always talking gibberish.
Hey, Sandra, you there? I'm heading home right this second.
Chris, what's up? How about the fireworks show? Hasn't even started?
Forget the damn fireworks.
Chris, you kinda sound upset. What's up?
Sorry, I'm not upset with you, it's Mum. I just found out the real reason why she didn't invite you tonight.
Sorry, was there even a reason? I just thought she simply didn't want me there.
Before I arrived, Mother apparently told everyone that you and I were already divorced.
Wait, what? Already divorced?
She introduced this girl saying she was my soon-to-be wife, and guess who that woman was? It was Lily.
You've gotta be kidding me. Are you talking about that very same Lily? The one that your mom was scheming to match up with your older brother Kyle?
That's right. When she stood up in front of everyone, all cheerful, and announced that she was my new wife, I went completely pale and then red hot.
You're joking, right? This has to be a joke. This Lily, she was Kyle's old flame, right? I heard he broke up with her after she was caught cheating on him. Why her? What was she thinking?
You know, Mother, she thinks Lily is pretty and that's why she likes her. Simply for that reason. She really pushed it with Kyle, but that didn't turn out as she planned for obvious reasons. She just couldn't let it go, so she figured she'd force her on me.
Has she gone totally mental? Just because she has no affection for me doesn't mean she can't treat you like that.
That's exactly right. I was furious. I told her off in front of everyone. I think I might have ruined the whole evening for everyone. Actually, I was so upset I couldn't stop myself. I blurted out everything. The way she treated you and forcing you to stay home today, about how she forced Lily onto Kyle, even about her cheating on him.
How did the other relatives react to all that?
Apparently, Mum told them that Kyle was the one who cheated on Lily and took off with some other woman.
Seriously? That's awful.
That little tidbit of information caused quite a commotion among all the relatives. They're currently having a family meeting right about now.
I guess the fireworks display is on back burner for now, it seems.
Oh yeah, my Uncle Frank took me aside and told me maybe I should check and make sure there were no false divorce filings in the past few days. I'm going to stop off at City Hall on way home and submit a claim just in case.
Chris, open the door. Please, let me in. I'm right outside your apartment complex. I know you're home. It's still the 4th of July weekend. I know you're still off from work. Please let me in.
Mom, would you just stop? The buzzing is driving me bonkers. I'm trying to work.
Work? What do you mean work?
I told you not to contact me anymore. We're done as a family. I told you that the other day.
But please, Chris!
Will you stop with your blabbering, Mum? I introduced you to that factory. I thought you were already over there, for God's sake. I'm busy. Gotta go.
Sandra, I know you're there. Let me in right this minute. Mother, what do you want? It's all your adult. Lily hates me now. I put in an application for divorce and marriage to Lily, but that was apparently rejected as a fraud claim. So I must concede defeat regarding this whole marriage to Chris. Therefore, I have taken it upon myself to discipline you, to teach you the ropes on how to be the perfect wife. Chris deserved the best. We have a few days left of the holidays, so let's get started. There's no time to lose. I don't think so, Mother. We're both at the office now. Excuse me, at the office? Yes, the July 4th weekend is actually not that long, and besides, both Chris and I work in a business that requires 24-hour operation. Even on holidays, we all work in shifts. Then get someone else to take your shift and come back home right this second. This is not a request, this is a command from your mother-in-law. Mother, is it true that you got kicked out of your own home? Pardon me? That home is owned by your husband's younger brother, if I got my facts correct, isn't that so? I heard you were just living there for free after your husband passed away, but that incident the other day was the last straw and you were kicked out of that house. Chris introduced me to a company called Ace Industries. I believe he arranged for a live-in position as an office receptionist. You were supposed to start today according to Chris, so why are you at our place? Well, seems obvious, right? You guys have this spacious condo, plenty of room here. Chris has enough income to take care of me, so why would I even accept such a position? That reminds me, you quit your part-time job after your husband passed and just lived off his inheritance? I heard that nest egg is about to dry up. Why do you even know about that? I was briefed on all the details about the family meeting you had the other day, after you introduced Lily as Chris's new wife. Nice try, by the way. Are you serious? You were briefed? Also, I may as well tell you now, about that tower condo you're so fond of. I bought that place when I was still single. I owned that place. Wait, you owned that condo? Yes, I was not only working at that time, but also inherited a bunch of real estate assets when my father passed away, so... Does that mean you make more than Chris? Yeah, I guess that you can say that. As for who you can or cannot live in that condo, I own the place and I have every right to make such decisions. This must be a mistake. And why would I want to live with someone that has been harassing me, treating me like dirt these past few years? Sorry, but I'm not really into masochism. But where am I gonna live then? That's why Chris introduced you to that position at Ace Industries. I would take it if I were you. A car just pulled up in front of your condo. That black van isn't for me, is it? Did Chris call them? Oh, did it arrive? That was pretty quick. There was talk of you trying to escape, and so there was an APB put on you. Chris called them. I suppose you don't have time to check your line messages, at least for now. After that conversation, the staff of Ace Industry picked her up and took her straight to the factory dormitory. I heard that the following day at the same dormitory, Lily showed up. Not sure about the details, but I heard she hooked up with some lowlife and somehow accumulated a huge debt with the guy, who later skipped town, leaving her with all that debt. When I first heard that they were together in the same dormitory, I was a little concerned, but they apparently got along great and worked as a sort of a team. Working surprisingly efficiently together, after a year, they even started to enjoy their newfound passion for work. They even vowed to work until retirement as a team. Chris told me that the president of Ace Industries had planned it that way and was positive that it would work out in such a manner. I guess he knows people. I probably won't meet Chris's mom again, but I'm happy that she found a purpose in life.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hello, Mary Ann. You're at your shop right now, aren't you? Looking after the store as usual, I suppose. Did you happen to see the shop across the street? If you haven't, I urge you to take a peek. Really something. Huh? Oh, hello, Marge. What's up? The store across the street? Are you talking about the kind of fancy-looking cafe? I heard it's supposed to open tomorrow. Looks kinda nice, I have to say. I wonder how much they spent on the whole place. Yeah, that's the one. Really impressive, huh? Yeah, it's nice. But what about it? That it's nice? I agree, it's nice. Don't be too surprised, Mary Ann, but surprise, surprise, that's my cafe. Our grand opening is tomorrow. Oh, really? I had no idea. But I thought, where'd you come up with all that money? It must have cost a fortune. Huh? Are you saying I couldn't afford it? You make me sound poor or something. That's sort of mean, isn't it? No, please don't take it that way. If I sounded like that, I'm really sorry. Maybe it came out kind of weird, huh? Sorry. It's just that whenever we would meet with the other women, you'd always go on and on about not having enough money. So it was just shock, that's all. But I see now that it was just complaining like we all do. But I guess you were secretly saving up, huh? You just took me off balance. You sure know how to surprise people, keeping everyone in suspense and then boom. About the money? Oh, that's a secret. Let's say it's business and it's confidential. Yeah, right. No problem. I don't have to know that, right? Really? You seem a bit flustered. Is it because you now have competition? Getting a bit worried, maybe? Huh? No, not at all. But I suppose if a shop similar to mine opens across the street, there, of course, will be a bit of rivalry. No way to avoid that, I guess, huh? But we're located across the street from each other, and I think we cater to different kinds of customers, so after a while, things will settle down. You'll have your regular customers, and I'll have mine. I'm not so sure about that. My shop is really attractive, and I have a feeling customers will gravitate toward my shop in no time. I just hope I don't take all your customers. If a nice fancy cafe opens across the street from your old beat-up cafe, well, people will obviously choose the more charming one, don't you agree? Our place isn't exactly beat up. Maybe needs a paint job here and there, but I wouldn't say beat up. I hear that place has been in business since your grandfather opened it God knows how long ago, and it hasn't been fixed up since. Is that true? Can I stop you right there, Marge? I know this is business and all, and it's actually good to have a little rivalry. I think it's healthy, it keeps us on our toes, but I would prefer that you not badmouth our shop. Oh, did I hurt your feelings, Marianne? And you talk of a rivalry. I don't see any kind of rivalry. Your beat-up cafe isn't even on our radar. Well, our place is seen as quaint and antique. People prefer that to some bright and gaudy exterior. Gaudy, huh? I don't see it that way. As a matter of fact, I think most people will see it as clean and hygienic. With a shop like that, it's a matter of time before they find some food contamination and the place is forced to close. Yes, well, we both run a restaurant cafe, and any kind of food contamination or poisoning incident would bankrupt us. I suggest we both be very careful that doesn't happen. I have nothing to worry about. Our place is spotless and super clean. No need to worry about that. And please don't compare my place with your old dilapidated shack. And to be honest, the place is an eyesore. I can't understand why people go there. I should warn you in advance, our place is going to be extremely busy after it opens. You probably won't be getting many customers tomorrow. Why don't you take the opportunity to clean the place up? In fact, you really should have fixed that quaint shack up a long time ago, or you wouldn't have been in this predicament. I hope you don't resent me for putting up such a nice and beautiful cafe right across the street from you. Hello, Marianne. How have you been? Keeping busy? Or are you just lounging around and whiling away the time? So sorry that business is not picking up. I told you you should have used the time wisely and did a little fixing up. Oh, hello, Marge. Been about a week since you opened, huh? Looks like you're doing okay. As for my place, we're not doing so bad. Revenue hasn't really changed much. I would say it's within our forecast. I was surprised our regular customers were so loyal. Oh, on the defensive, are we? Well, I don't blame you for being touchy about it. It's hard to see your little rundown shop deteriorating even further. I was just thinking. You run that place with your husband, right? He does the cooking and waitering, anything that comes up, doesn't he? Yeah, he helps out any way he can. It is a family business. Tell you what, Marianne, since you guys are really having a hard time, what if I told you I'd be willing to hire your husband at our place? Help you guys out a little. What do you say? Excuse me? Hire my husband? Are you serious? I'm just lending a helping hand to a fellow cafe owner, that's all. You don't have to be so shocked. I figured your business was suffering, so I offered to help. What's wrong with that? If your husband comes and works for us part-time, it'll help to cut costs. With the lack of clients, he has nothing to do anyways, right? No need for that. We're not really in the red. Business is as usual. As a matter of fact, my husband is pretty busy, so thanks for the offer, but we'll pass. There you go again, getting all defensive. I know that pride is probably getting in the way, but there's no need. What are neighbors for, right? I'm sure you've seen the big long lines outside our place. And it's only been a week. It hasn't let up at all. I mean, can you believe it? It's only been a week, and our cafe has become this popular. Who would have thought, right? Now, if I could hire your husband, a pretty handsome guy, I have to admit, if he would work at our place, I bet we could double the amount of customers. Just think of the PR. A handsome guy like your husband running our cafe alongside a beautiful woman like myself. Our place would be the most talked about place anywhere. I bet we would be written up in the local paper or even a spot on TV. Oh, am I hearing you correctly? Did you start that cafe for the sole purpose of luring my husband there? Was that it? Not so sure about that. That's confidential. Well, I'm positive of one thing, Marge. My husband has no interest whatsoever in your new cafe. And I can tell you right now, 0 interest in you. Sorry to disappoint you. Just trying to help out. Let me make one thing perfectly clear to you, Marge, because you just don't seem to understand. The long years of success since my grandfather started this place is not because my husband is handsome. That has nothing to do with it. Really? I thought that was the only reason you managed to stay in business, to be honest. You know what, Marge? I don't want to have to explain this to you, but what you should be worried about is trying to kickstart your new cafe, so it will last going forward. I don't think you have time to be trying to lure my husband to your new place or to be trash-talking me in my shop. You're attracting customers because they're curious, but what happens when that curiosity wears off? Then what? Thanks for the advice, Marianne, but your advice won't do much good. I mean, take a look at your place now. It's not simply out of curiosity that people flock to my cafe, Marianne. It was my business sense that did that. Look at the place. Look at all the people lined up outside. In less than a week, I was able to transform this place into one of the most popular cafes in town. There's no denying it. As an astute businesswoman, you should also know that people flock to newly opened businesses out of curiosity. The real test is only starting, Marge. Will customers be willing to come back a second time or a third? That's what matters. That's what keeps you in business for years to come. You know what? It's kinda annoying to be told that from someone whose cafe is empty. I don't see anyone waiting to get in. Like I said, we're doing okay. We've been in business for years. We've had good times and bad. We've retained a loyal customer base. Yes, whatever. Oh, and about my offer to hire your husband, that still stands, so when you decide, let me know as soon as possible. I'll pay him a reasonable hourly rate. Like I said, Marge, he has no intention of working there. Is Is it true? I just heard about it, Mary Ann. I couldn't believe it. This is serious. You know that, I hope. I warned you about this. It finally happened. A case of food poisoning, right? That's a death knell for your business. You won't be able to continue. I feel so bad for you, both of you, out of a job. That's tough. What are you going to do, Mary Ann? Like I offered before, I'm still willing to hire your husband at our cafe, but only your husband. I'm sure you can find something somewhere else. I have no idea what you're talking about, Marge. What food poisoning? I wish you wouldn't spread unfounded rumors. It's bad for business. Are you serious, Marianne? Are you really thinking of not reporting this to the authorities? You could lose your business license, you know. Food poisoning is no laughing matter. If I were you, I would really consider the pros and cons before doing anything irrational. But it's just inconceivable to me, as a business owner like you, and not to think of the safety of customers? How could you? Again, Marge, I have no idea what you're babbling on about. What proof do you have to accuse us of such a thing? That ambulance that came yesterday, what was that all about then? It looked like it was something major, all those people crowded around. You're not denying that, are you? When was this? You say this was yesterday? Yes, an ambulance pulled up in front of your old beat-up cafe. I saw someone getting carried away on a gurney. I know what I saw. Don't try and deny it, Marianne. Right afterward, I went out there and talked to Mr. Gaines. You know him, right? He owns that pizza place down the street. Well, he told me that your little establishment has been around for some time and that you've had sanitation problems for years. Not only that, but the entire place is antiquated. The kitchen and the dishwasher systems wouldn't pass muster now. Said the place is a disaster waiting to happen. Marge, can I stop you right there? For starters, our cafe was closed yesterday. We've always taken Monday off and try to stay open on the weekends. I thought maybe you would know that. Closed? You mean? Yes, we were not open. We're closed on Mondays. Everyone knows that. Closed on Mondays, huh? I had no idea. I heard about that incident from a neighbor, but what she told me was that Mrs. Todd, who runs that gelato place next door, apparently slipped on the stairs and hurt her back. I guess that's why they called the ambulance. They parked right in front of our place because 2 cars were blocking the entrance to Mrs. Todd's shop. I guess it looked like they were at my cafe. They had no other choice but to stop in front of our place. At least, that's the story I heard. Oh, really? There was such a big crowd out there, and Mr. Gaines, you know. You know what bothers me more, Marge? If you're running a business like a cafe, I would think you would know when other rival businesses are operating. If you want to run a business, you should know this. Are you sure you can manage to keep operating this way? Actually, I knew that. I've got it all on my calendar in the office. I've just been too busy lately, you know, with the long lines and all. And why did you spread rumors about our place having this food poisoning incident? If you had known we were not operating, you wouldn't have made that mistake. Yeah, well, it just looked that way, so... And why didn't you verify that it was really a case of food poisoning? It could have been any number of things. Maybe a kid tripped in front of our cafe, for example. To go and blab about someone getting sick in our cafe and spreading that false rumor around is, honestly speaking, totally irresponsible. And spreading rumors about food poisoning is a serious accusation, Marge. It could have ruined us. We may already have lost customers due to this. Do you realize the gravity of this? That was not my intention. I was only trying to. And another thing, those 2 cars that were parked in front of Mrs. Todd's place, turns out they were customers visiting your cafe. Mrs. Todd told me she had complained to you about using her parking space, but you completely ignored her. That's why the ambulance had to park in front of our place. Huh? Why do you even know about all this? Did you snoop around and ask questions? Unlike you, we have a tight-knit business community here, and we exchange information all the time. We help each other out when needed. Although Mr. Barnes has shunned any contact with us. He only started his shop a year or 2 ago. I guess he prefers to go it alone. A tight-knit business community? I've never heard of this. Why wasn't I invited? People have been in various businesses around here for generations. Like I said, a tight-knit community. A lot of information gets passed back and forth. The information I'm getting is that, although you spread these malicious rumors, nobody believes any of it. I doubt Mr. Barnes even believes it. Oh yeah, and about the owner of that gelato shop, Mrs. Todd? She's my husband's aunt. Huh? You guys are related then? Yes. Like I said, it's a tight-knit community. I've got a bunch of relatives that own businesses around here. As a matter of fact, my brother runs that burger place on 5th Street. Huh? And I thought it was a great chance for me to do away with that old rundown cafe once and for all. But you know what, Marge? You should be grateful that it didn't go as planned. Huh? Why should I be grateful? Well, for one, I won't have to press charges against you for slander and spreading false rumors about this food poisoning incident. If those false rumors spread and customers avoided my cafe, well, I could have sued you. Huh? Well, it didn't do any harm. Nobody believed it anyway. Lucky for you. But if people had, you would have been prosecuted and ended up with a criminal record. A criminal record? What are you even talking about? That's right, Marge. You would have been legally deemed a lawbreaker. You were on the verge of breaking the law. So you should be grateful that it didn't progress any further. Come on, Mary Ann, you're blowing this all out of proportion. You're over-exaggerating this whole thing. I wish you wouldn't threaten me like that. I'm not threatening you, Marge, and for your information, this is not an over-exaggeration. There are similar cases just like this all over the country. Some people have even served sentences and paid enormous fines for exactly what you did. Getting back to what I was saying, the main reason for causing all this in the first place is it was simply out of frustration and payback for not being able to lure my husband away and have him work at your place. Isn't that right? This was all about retribution for not getting your way. That's not how I... Please, Marge, don't try denying it. I know all about it. My husband said you had been persistent in your effort to persuade him to come and work for you. Although I suspect there were ulterior motives, which I won't get into here. Anyway, my husband resisted, refusing your constant pestering of him. He finally sighed with relief when you finally eased up a little. I was only trying to help him. I don't know where you got the idea that we were in trouble financially. You probably thought that the only reason we were able to stay afloat was because my husband was good-looking and women, were flocking to our cafe just for that reason. But what other reason is there? That place is a dump. Why would people go there? I was only trying to help him and you out. Yeah, you're right. I did try and lure him to my place. I figured it would be a wise business decision. He would definitely bring in business. Any business-minded person would do it. Do you really think such a short-sighted strategy would last? Do you really believe that you would be able to continue to do business for over 60 years as we have? You're completely delusional if you think that's a sound business decision. Wait, excuse me. That place has been operating for more than 60 years? That's right, but getting back to what I was saying. Yeah, sure. I won't deny that my husband's good looks attracts female customers and even some guys, but our main selling point is our fantastic coffee. That's what people come to our cafe for, and they've been coming here for decades. You're saying you guys are coffee specialists? My husband was a regular customer back in the day. I was working part-time at the cafe to help out my dad. That's where we met and eventually got married. After that, he started working at the cafe, where my father taught him everything he knows about coffee and the technique and skill required to make the best coffee in the world. Well, at least the best around these parts. I think we've succeeded given the fact that people have been coming here for decades, and we have a solid customer base because of our dedication. Long story short, we've maintained our decades-long tradition handed down from my father, which continues to the present. Tradition, huh? Unlike your fancy cafe, which caters to the Instagram crowd, we don't target just young and fashionable people. I told you before that our customer base is completely different. We cater to totally different customers. Yeah, right. Different customers. Okay. What I'm trying to tell you, Marge, is that you should really start putting some thought into how you can make your place last. Rather than conjuring up some short-sighted scheme to attract customers, think long-term. Excuse me, what am I supposed to do? I can't just make up decades of so-called tradition in a day. Maybe you should start by correcting the obvious, like the attitude and impoliteness of the part-timers working there, or that maybe you should reprimand them for talking too much, or perhaps you need to reevaluate the dishes being served. Perhaps the chocolate cookies are too small, or the cake slices are too thin. Is the cafe manager sitting back and lounging around too much? Which really degrades the look of the place and the overall impression it leaves. You said there were long lines outside, but that seems to be waning recently. You know what, Marge? What I just said may be the reason for the decline. Did you even contemplate that? Are you saying I don't know how to run my business? Well, I don't need your advice. I heard that you were asking some of the neighbors for money. Are you sure you can keep this up? It's not easy to run a cafe. You always have to be on your toes. Like I said, I don't need your advice. I have my way of doing business. Leave me alone. After I gave her that advice, she didn't pester me or my husband any longer and went about trying to run her business her way. But it seems she was not only having trouble running her cafe, but her personal life was in the doldrums. About her down payment on the cafe that I was concerned about, it turns out she scraped together the cash from her husband's savings and dipped into accounts she was not permitted to touch, and apparently borrowed a considerable amount from various financial institutions. Her husband, who was working overseas at the time, was absolutely furious. Another thing that thoroughly pissed him off was when he heard that she was lusting after my husband. What's more, she has 2 kids, but completely disregarded them and focused all her attention on the cafe. The more the customer base declined, the more she became frustrated, spending every waking minute on how to revive the cafe. You can probably imagine where this probably went. That's right. The marriage eventually ended badly, and the cafe suffered a similar fate. All that was left was a mountain of debt. All her efforts were just one wild goose chase, a self-defeating endeavor. Last I heard, she was working various jobs to make ends meet, and to pay back the enormous debt she had accumulated.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.